Welcome to Chapter 17, Den of Betrayal. We're once again fielding our bow-wielding quartet of Niles, Nyx, Mozu, and Laslow, all four of which will see big enemy phases this map. If you were scratching your head a bit when I said Nyx and enemy phase in the same sentence, let me explain. It's true that this is another enemy phase heavy map, but unlike Chapter 16, it's actually very good for Nyx. This is one of the few chapters where Nyx is not only a good enemy phase unit, but possibly one of the best. Her supposedly overkill magic and speed punch through the Master Ninja's monstrous resistance without using too many resources, allowing her to compensate for her lower bulk by using a defense power-up instead of a speed one. Her weapon triangle advantage also cuts through the enemy's weapon rank bonuses. Compared to other magic users, the fact that she doesn't have to use the Calamity Gate to achieve this is a huge benefit, as it means you don't have to route an Ophelia's paralog before this point. And of course, she's much more accurate than any potential bolt axe users, especially Elise. This map is the very reason we made sure to feed XP to Nyx last chapter, as she's now very close to unlocking Lucky 7 to make her hit rates perfectly reliable. This map tends to be when the bulk of my promotions take place, and that's no exception here. I have 3 people to promote in preps, and 4 in the middle of the map itself, starting with the simplest, Keaton. Will Segnar gives Keaton a desperately needed hit bonus, but the biggest benefit we get out of this map is the improved power bonuses. 1-round thresholds are non-trivial to reach on this map because of the enemy's high speed, and the fact that the bulk of my army is underleveled and unpromoted, so Keaton's +4 strength and speed power in the class will help a lot. He'll end up getting passed around a lot, so everyone from Mozu to Corrin to Niles can benefit. Next up is Beruka. I flirted with the idea of making her a Malignite for better magical power bonuses, which synergizes well with my plans for her husband, Niles. But on this map in particular, Beruka needed high defense so enemies would see 0 damage against her, allowing her to act as a movable wall. From that angle, Wyvern Lord is the correct option for the better promotion bonuses. Finally, there's Odin. I'll be benching him in a couple maps, so the choice between Sorcerer and Dark Knight is entirely a short-term decision. In this case, it's resolved by, of all things, his power bonuses. Dark Knight's extra defense and movement is much more useful than Sorcerer's slightly higher magic for Nyx, who already has overkill offenses for the most part, and would much rather patch up her bulk at least on this map. The main benefit of Sorcerer for Odin himself is the higher magic and Nosferatu access, but neither of these exactly matter for my purposes, and I don't think Nosferatu is very good around this point in the game anyway. Even selfishly, Odin does genuinely like the extra bulk and movement that Dark Knight provides, to turn into a budget Leo of sorts. Though this Odin is slightly stat screwed, so how much combat he'll end up seeing in that role is kind of questionable.
So excited!
There's one last thing we need to do before we start, and that's getting Corrin out of the hellhole that is the Nor Noble class. While Nor Noble does have powerful unrestricted 1-2 range in Tomes and the Levin Sword, my skill boon Corrin can make up for its shaky accuracy. It has terrible matchups on this map, so now seems like a good time to get Corrin's rally build going. She'll start by hard sealing into Falcon Knight through her Sky Knight talent. It may be the worst flying class, but it's still a flying class, and that automatically makes it pretty spectacular. Corrin's insane stats make up for its somewhat lackluster basis, becoming a very respectable combat unit. But obviously, the main reason she wants this class is for rally speed. While Corrin is obviously a fantastic combat unit, she's also one of, if not the best support units due to her personal skill and her completely unmatched class access, being able to support the entire cast and get friendship classes from as many people as she wants. Anyone can be a combat carry, but no one else has that level of support potential, so while technically an off-meta build for her, I think there's some genuine merit to it, and it's one of my favorite ways to use her. That's all our reclassing done for now, so let's begin routing this ninja horde. Mozu will fight this Master Ninja on enemy phase with Keaton's power up and Laslow's rally. She capped speed, but is below average on strength, which is conveniently the perfect stat spread for this map. Beruka chokes this point while Niles stands behind her. This maneuver is made possible by Perry's shelter singing. By transferring and lunging, Beruka lets Benny get a kill with his Zora support. This is a pairing I'm pursuing this playthrough, which I'll get more into when it's relevant.
What now?
Lucky 7 acquired, and a great level up to boot. Now let's test it out. Regardless of whether or not Mozu dodges the steel shuriken on player phase, she should now be at low enough HP for the Master Ninja to see a kill and suicide into her on enemy phase, if she got hit by the silver shuriken last turn. If not, he'll retreat to a place where Beruka can kill him next turn. This is fine on the surface, but in the context of meticulously planned clear, the slight differences in EXP and guard gauge butterfly effect into something I'd rather not bother keeping track of, so I just pray she does indeed get hit that turn. It's only turn 1, so it's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. It's important that Kaze is the one to remove the caltrop so Niles, who has moved +1, can be separated farther up. Saturn chokes this point. With 27 defense and chivalry, these enemies all ignore him, which allows Nyx to easily clean them up from his tile. As long as she doesn't have any stabs in her inventory, she won't get silenced either, because Silence AI actually doesn't realize magic weapons like the Shining Bow are silenceable. This is yet another advantage Nyx has over Calamity Gate users. Nyx sees a shocking amount of enemy phase combat this map, so it's easier at this point to just let you see the animations here. I think this pretty aptly shows off the power of Lucky 7. No certain blow, no skill +2, Heartseeker is inactive, and she's in her most inaccurate bow-wielding class while in guard stance, and yet 100% hit rates against Master Ninjas. Goes to show Nyx's accuracy quote-unquote issues are severely blown out of proportion. Sure, my Nyx is a little skill blast, but you can't deny it's a genuinely phenomenal showing. And remember the chapters leading up to this. Except for moments where Nyx doubled and had 2 chances to kill an enemy, you can count the number of times her hit was even slightly dicey on one hand. and now it'll never be a problem again. That's a promise, and I encourage you to hold me to it.
My aching blood! He will, friend! Odin Dark knows no peace!
Another day, another sin.
Shelter gets just as much use for its intended purpose as it does for shelter singing this clear. Here, Sender keeps Perry safe from the ninjas. Since Beruka got debuffed earlier, she needs a defense tonic to ensure the masked ninja still sees 0 damage against her. Benny's power-up also helps. We get a lot of use out of fancy footwork on this benchmark-heavy map. Here, Niles needs it to enemy face some masked ninjas, after he gets sung to, of course. Since Nyx couldn't have healer inventory earlier to avoid being silenced, she just takes it from Niles now.
Why, yes.
Well, of course.
Nyx won't need that heal staff anymore, so Niles takes it back from her. You might be able to guess what I'm promoting him into based on that, but let's run through his options first. For a low investment Niles build, Bow Knight is the clear better option. It just has better stats. But I'm not going for a low investment Niles, because taking move +1 into other classes is obscenely broken, and I want to take advantage of it. Eventually, Niles will become a Malignite, and would greatly appreciate some hit support, especially if he's using the Bolt Axe. Adventurer can provide that, in the form of Lucky 7. We've already seen how broken that skill is on Nyx, and Niles benefits from it just as much, so the choice here is obvious.
Such a tease.
In case Beruka's counterattack missed last turn, Kaze should use the option that one-rounds the automata from full HP. That means the Steel Shuriken. Mozu is working to build support with Kaze this map, although they only need one support point together, so she actually spends more time working with Keaton than anything. Kaze and Mozu both give excellent classes to their partners, but they don't much want to reclass out of them themselves, so you might view this pairing as a waste. And, well, it probably is, but it does result in a very powerful Midori. Midori certainly isn't the strongest unit in the world, but because of the money she gives you from Profiteer, I tend to deploy her more often than not, so in my mind, you might as well make her combat prospects as serviceable as possible to get the most out of that deployment slot. Mozu passes great stats and great skills from the archer class line, while letting Midori pick up aptitude for free just by offspring sealing, and so is one of her better moms in that respect. Midori can contribute a surprising amount when used in this way. When most of your team consists of flyers, and most of your bow users are Kinchi Knights, it's good to have at least one strong grounded bow user to fight enemy snipers and the like those found on Chapter 23. While certainly a niche pairing, I've gotten surprising value from it in the past, both from getting quick draw on Kaze and from Midori herself. As an added bonus, Mozu Midori is potentially the best final boss killer in the game, though this doesn't factor into my decision at all. One mechanist gets blocked, and the other one is forced to attack from 2 range. Compared to Mozu and Niles, Laslow is slower but stronger, making him worse at fighting master ninjas, but better at fighting the bulky mechanists. Corrin will fight the automata, with Niles' dual strike contributing the kill after the saw debuff. Conveniently, Lock Touch makes him unaffected by the caltrops. Sanders' choke pointing has set up the ninja's position so Mozu can enemy face them perfectly. If we do nothing, Saizo will fight the reinforcement spawning from this area, which we don't want, so Nyx and Odin make sure to body block him. There's one piece of random enemy movement to watch out for. We want the Swordmaster to move as far north as possible so he doesn't aggro Saizo.
Chance.
Darting Blow is good, though not for Corrin specifically. In the late game, when I'm playing mostly on player face and unpaired, the extra speed is nice to hit benchmarks when I'm not in a position to utilize speed stacking tools like Pair Up or Inspiring Song. It won't make much difference once she gets a rally build going, but that doesn't mean it can't help us until then. Corrin is such a speed demon that she can double the Swordmaster even without Darting Blow, though that is with Keaton's Pair Up and Inspiring Song. We're still trying to keep Saizo from fighting anyone, so I ensure the Swordmaster lunges himself out of his range by attacking Charlotte. Xander with Beruka power-up is the ultimate wall. Nyx could very well keep killing things in Adventure for the rest of the map, but I want her to go into the Archer class line now to get excellent skills as soon as possible. It's good timing anyway, since Corrin and Niles can take over her staff-using duties in their new classes for now. I should reiterate how insane Sniper is for Nyx. Plus 16 and 8 hit over Adventure, plus skill plus 2, plus Certain Blow is incredible. Certain Blow is such a good skill that, if your friendship seal economy is very lax, it might be worthwhile to certain that class for a bit before going into Kinchinite. But my friendship seal economy is actually quite tight, so I'm going into Kinchinite immediately. This class plays to Nyx's strengths very well, while still adequately shoring up her hit rates with its plus 3 skill and luck over Adventure. Minus 5 magic looks like it hurts, but after Quick Draw, it's actually pretty much even, meaning you're free to enjoy the benefits of 9 movement and flight with basically no downside. This is without question Nyx's best late game class. And if you're really missing Certain Blow, you're free to dip into Sniper for 1 level after unlocking the tier 3 shops to be truly unstoppable.
How very annoying.
Funnily enough, because she doesn't have weapon triangle advantage, Nyx's hit rates are actually worse against the Automata than the Master Ninjas, but 99% is nothing to scoff at.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Skill plus 2 equates to plus 3 hit, which is pretty good, but Nyx suffers a lot from 5 skill slot syndrome, so she doesn't always have room to equip it. It's better than Lock Touch in this case. Lock Touch does have some special utility on this map in removing caltrops, but Nyx won't make use of that this clear. While Niles and Mozu are best against Master Ninjas, and Laslow is best against Mechanists, Nyx is excellent against both. In fact, she barely minds the minus 5 magic going from Adventure to Kinchinite against them, since their resistance is actually lower. All she needs to make up for it is a magic tonic. This is the scariest combat of the entire clear. We don't want to crit on either side, but those crit rates are worryingly high. At least we have a backup plan if Charlotte or Penny misses. Bloodthirst lets parry one round the other automaton on enemy phase. Azura of all people procs the Dragon Vein, dropping Saizo in the chest room. That way we won't have to worry about him for the rest of the clear. Charlotte goes in range of the dual katana Swordmaster, taking care of the most awkward to fight enemies on the map.
Time for some killing.
Nyx takes advantage of the last turn Lucky 7 is active here, although her chipping doesn't actually accomplish anything. Niles faces the reinforcement ninjas. He can't take all of them at once, so he just goes in range of a few at a time. After equipping the Blessed Lance for some passive healing, it's time for Perry to make a decision. For Wyvern Lord Perry, the choice between Paladin and Great Knight comes down to which you'd rather take into that class, Defender or Axe rank. I tend to play mostly unpaired in the late game, so for me the answer is Axe rank. I don't know why this Mechanist has life and death, but it makes him ridiculously easy to kill on player phase.
All right.
Mozu gets a level 20 promotion almost by accident, so now another unit has to choose between Sniper and Kinchi Knight. But Mozu doesn't really care about dipping for certain blow, so I think it's pretty clear what I, the movement stat's biggest fan, think is better. Mozu needs a better strength backpack, so Corrin ferries Charlotte over to her. One support we haven't pursued much this map is Benny and Azura's. The reasoning behind this pairing is almost entirely for ease of unlocking. Benny is one of the bulkier units in the game, and can take a lot of attacks in a single turn, which makes it easy for Azura to repeatedly dual strike off of him. It uses Benny's poor strength and god-awful speed to our advantage too, letting us milk the same enemies for support points multiple times. And Azura is obviously a good mom for Ignatius if you care about that. But that's about where the benefits stop. Since the whole point is not killing, it's not a very proactive pairing. And on this map in particular, which is filled with 2-range enemies, it's hard to find opportunities for Benny and Azura to dual strike for each other. In this case, we partially resolve this by letting the two of them bully this Shrine Maiden for a little while. This rally doesn't do anything. It did do something in a previous version of this clear, but it doesn't now. I'm queuing it in for nostalgia purposes. Sandra activates the Dragon Bane so Laslow can fight the nearby ninja and mechanist on enemy phase. To ensure the Mechanist can actually reach Laslow, and so Scytho doesn't escape from his cage, Corrin needs to Dragon Bane again.
Why, yes. leave it to me.
The positioning here lets Corrin heal Laslow while being in range of the nearby samurai at the same time. We don't want Kaze to block the pillar tile, so Odin stands by to take him away as he transfers Charlotte. This is the perfect tile for Laslow to fight both mechanists at 2 range while being out of range of everything else. Rally skill is great, although it's ironic that we got it after Nyx's hit problems are already all but resolved. Azura and Benny body block the Swordmaster. Always love it when Azura being in range of an enemy on purpose is optimal. Fancy footwork in Corrin's power-up lets Keaton double these automata. For the final promotion of the map, it's Kaze. Fairly common knowledge at this point that, at least in Conquest, Master Ninja is usually better for him than Mechanist to really optimize his niche as the speed and resistance guy. No arguments for me, and he'll use that speed very soon to fight some samurai and swordmasters.
Let's see.
Heartseeker and Fierce Man combined give Benny perfect accuracy even with the javelin. With a single rally, Laslow now gives +1 strength, +1 speed, and +6 hit. Kaze and Niles are the first to benefit. Kaze can't deal with the dual katana samurai, so Niles kills him on player face. Can't forget to shelter him out of the way afterwards. Singing anyone here would be a mistake. Azura needs to move as far as she can to sing to someone else next turn. Beruka gets to show off her newfound lance rank. If the Swordmaster sees a kill, he'll attack into Kaze's guard cage. That didn't end up happening this time because Kaze got a lucky dodge, but it's always very satisfying when it does.
Remain calm. Niles just dove straight into the enemy's turret to remove the caltrops, so Azura needs to get him out of there. It looks like she's still in danger, but the enemies in Kotaro's room actually won't attack unless you're in the room itself. Assuming Xander didn't crit, Perry gets her first opportunity to build some max rank. Kotaro's room is best taken out on player phase. To start, Nyx makes sure to apply Heartseeker to the boss. Darting Blow lets us double the Swordmaster. We get camaraderie for our troubles, which is fine.
This is my chance!
Keen got some unlucky crits a few turns ago, so he and Corrin haven't built up enough guard gauge to block this Master Ninja's attack. That would normally be a death sentence, if Corrin didn't get a lucky dodge earlier in the clear. I mean, I guess I'll take it. Kotaro is one of the most notorious bosses in the game because of his high avoid, made even worse by thrown bonuses and Duelist Blow. One of the easier ways to take him out is to use Savage Blow against the nearby Master Ninjas to chip him down without having to initiate combat against him. But I haven't deployed Camilla on this map, and even if I did, she's nowhere close to unlocking the skill. So instead I just do the much simpler thing and have Mozu one-round him with perfect accuracy. Let's turn animations on for this. I want to see her eviscerate him. It's a great level up and all. Would it kill you to get some strength? Feels like my Mozus are always strength screwed. Not a bad clear by any means. Even though this is one of the longer maps in my experience, it's still got a great taste of Lucky 7's true power. I'm very fond of that skill because even if your clears do take relatively long, the first 7 turns are always the most impactful, so Lucky 7 always gets a lot of value. I'll be playing Invasion 2 off camera since I'm not deploying Nyx on that map, so next episode is Chapter 18. We'll get a better look at how Nyx performs as a Kinshi Knight, and finally finish off her Odin support. See you then.